Hello everyone, welcome back to this. Is my mic on? Good. Hello everyone, welcome back to you've always got to check the mic. Welcome back to another behind the scenes video commentary thing of a video that has been a long time coming, LURP. The first episode which I uploaded was uploaded in when was it? It was 8 months ago now. It was back in 2012, in December. Bloomin' heck, that's a long time ago. Yeah, 2012, blimey. It has been a long time since the last one. And the main reason why this episode of LURP took so long to come out was because of sheer procrastination. I don't really want to, because I'm not the greatest artist in the world, so you just get moments where it's like, I drew that picture and it was difficult, it didn't look right, I'm not going to do it again, I can just leave it, and then you just don't touch LURP for about a month, and then you're back at it and you just draw about 5 pictures, and then you're just like, yeah, that'll do, I'll animate that for a bit, and then, yeah, that's good. But since, and I keep teasing this video, I did a video on my friend David's channel. It was a New Year's thing, and I was talking vlog style, and LURP was playing in the background. At the end of my best bits of 2012 video, at the end I had more coming in 2013 and a shot of LURP. In that best bits of 2012, I had my Tumblr open, which was showing the work, the progress of LURP, and in the Name of the Doctor I'm Back extravaganza trailer, I also had it saying, oh look, here's LURP. There was a picture of LURP for a second. This has been teased a lot, so I hope it's worth the wait. I'm recording this before upload, because I want to put an end card at the end which has a link to this behind the scenes video. So if you come from that, hello. But I need to record this video so I can put the annotation at the end. I can put the video annotation at the end of the actual LURP episode. So I still haven't rendered this yet. So yeah, I hope it does well, because I put a lot of work into it, but I'm actually really proud of this. Out of the past 3 videos, I really like this. I think there's something which I've always tried with my channel to appeal to the kind of content. I'll click play. I've always tried to create content which I want to watch myself, which I would like to watch myself. That's why some of my earlier stuff was very wacky, out and about, just doing really weird things. Then there was sort of like a lazy vlog, talking to a camera kind of thing. Did that for quite a long period of time. That's because that's what I like to watch. Then I started doing gameplay commentary videos because I like watching gameplay commentary. But I really like improvised comedy, which is where LURP comes in. Definitely, because this was a role-playing adventure which I played with my 2 friends, Stein and Rold, from Brian Stein Games. So this was recorded a long time ago. Completely improvised. Had no idea what we were doing. Using a map from Dungeons and Dragons, but with less rules than Dungeons and Dragons because we're not that sophisticated. But anyway, yeah. So going through the editing process, a major part. Well, I should actually talk about this. The background. This was something which I started this at the end of episode 1. The Woodland Shot. Actually, no, we have a Woodland Shot here. I reused that from the last episode because it was used in such a small amount. This shot of the woods. It was at the end when the spaceship was exploding. But I wanted to use it again because I put a lot of work into it, and I thought I need a shot of the woods, so I may as well use it. This style was this was the first time I tried doing this. I used an actual photograph of the woods, and then a photograph of some woods, and then I drew over them, and I applied that same technique to these mountains, and I actually quite like that effect. I'm certainly going to do more of that in episode 3, if I can. There's a fly in my room. Oh dear, it's summer in here. All the flies. So that's definitely something which I'm going to do in episode 3. The characters from episode 2, because with episode 1 I used the same characters over and over, the same character drawings, and I have this in episode 2, but I really need to redesign them because the characters in episode 1 look like they were drawn in MS Paint. So as you can see, this is the same picture, but I make slight tweaks throughout the entire episode. So yeah, these pictures are used an awful lot. And I'm actually quite happy with these designs and the emotions which I get across with them. I hope with episode 3 I can match their adorableness, because I really like the character drawings in this episode. These flame effects, that was used at the end of episode 2 as well. This scene was drawn just after episode 1, sorry. Those were used in episode 1. This scene was drawn just after episode 1. So obviously there's a few things which were carried over, apart from the character models which I made from scratch. Yeah, so let's click play and just go through it. Yeah, you can see same stuff but just looked at it at a different angle. This was actually the last picture which I drew. Actually, no, this isn't my last picture I drew. This was but a second last picture which I drew. That house. You can tell that it's slightly cobbled together, but I initially took this, did this shot with the house on a mountain. I used this shot, but it's slightly more zoomed out, and just put that on a mountain. But at the end of the episode it says, no, you're in the woods, you didn't actually climb the mountain, so I had to completely redo it. So I just again used this woodland shot and then just drew a house and placed it in the middle. Lol. Okay, so with this shot, again, this was the first time because you can probably tell from the drawings that everything is hand drawn, but with the house, because it had a lot of straight lines, I didn't draw some parts of it by hand. I used kind of like selection tools and then square tools or selection tools, and then paint bucket, so you get a nice line. Another thing about this, there's some drawing techniques throughout this which are very crude. And I've improved, just at the very end I've improved, so I can draw a picture in about 5 minutes. But it took me so long with some bits because I was just doing it a really long-winded way around. Yes, the small man. The small man was designed by Rold. He drew this picture of the small man. I'll see if I can get it out actually. I'll be amazed if I can find this. I should have actually found this out beforehand. But it is a fantastic picture. Oh, come on. Sorry about this, but you need to find it. You need to find these things. I think I know where it might be. Small man fight. No, I can't find it. I'll see if I can find it out and maybe put it over the top of this video so you can actually see it. But he drew this shot of the fight scene later in the video, which showed this character, the small man. I just thought that's a quite cool design, so I used his design instead of using my own. Because I essentially designed the wizard and the alien, Elliot and Rold's characters. Oh, well, the wizard's fairly unoriginal, and so is the alien. But it was my idea to use the red top. But it was my ideas which went into them, slightly based off Stein's original concepts. but that character was pretty much completely based off Rold. So thank you very much, Rold, for your contribution rather to this episode, as well as your voice acting. Scribbling sound effect, which I put in the background while he was writing. Again, the same character pictures used again. The background, I decided to put moving clouds because it's an animation, so you just want a little bit of movement throughout it. And as a lot of this episode was based inside, where there wasn't going to be any movement, I just wanted to show it. I wanted to show some kind of movement, so I put the clouds moving in there. I tried many different techniques to get the door to open. There is a technique where you can sort of like three-dimensional, so you can actually get something to rotate on a hinge kind of thing, so it has a 3D effect. But I didn't actually like the way that looks, so I just settled with just move the door to the left of the screen. And that kind of looks like it's open. I'm pretty happy with that. So that'll do. I'm pretty sure. Couple of moments of silence. I did consider putting a tumbleweed in this shot, but I decided against it. Simply because having something tumble across the screen would be too much effort. It's too much work. So, but yeah, the scene does fine without it. Elliot using his psychic abilities for the first time here. So yeah, anything to report here? No, not particularly. Again, this is the same where was it? This shot, same pictures as before, but the way I did it was I just moved the mountains so I got a wider view of them, and made Elliot's face bigger and changed the expression, and it kind of looks like a new picture, so I'm kind of happy with that. Kind of. It's just making the most of what you got, but it's not noticeable, I don't think. And I'm actually really happy with some of Elliot's facial expressions in this. The way just the round eyes, you can just cut bits off them and change the shape so easily. And I also used emoticon kind of faces with Rold. You can see it just here, but I use it a lot with Elliot. It's probably a style which I'm going to move away from for episode 3, but I used it in episode 1 as well. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's quite an interesting thing to try out, especially as we did this entire video over Skype. It's nice to use emoticons and faces like that. But yeah, this entire scene is basically made up of the same, 10 images, 10, 11, 12 images probably, just used over and over again. Do you notice? Not really. You probably would if you were really nitpicking, but nah. Cut down the work. That's what I love about this style of animation. You can just get the most out of a minimum amount of effort. Okay, this was the last thing which I drew. You see here? Oh, the room's empty. But, oh no, there's a table there now. Can you see that in the bottom right hand corner? Table? No table. That was the last thing which I drew. It took me ages to get around to drawing that table, and I finally did it within the past couple of hours. So yeah, that's quite cool. These cabinets and stuff, again, the same style of drawing which I used for the mountains and the woods. Had a picture and then I drew over them. So that was actually a bed and then I drew over it, which I kind of like that style. Again, same with the book. I did that exact same thing. Rolled walking over. This shot is the only shot which doesn't have any kind of shading. And it's actually a fairly minimal amount of animation as well. But we'll deal with it. Also, the way Rold reads as well with this. He reads from right to left. That was a complete accident, I must say, because I was thinking I read left to right, and on screen it's moving left to right, but from Roll's point of view it's right to left. So I'm going to make sure throughout the entire series that whenever anyone reads anything, they read from right to left, just to keep the series consistent. Simply, I could change that. I could change that right now, but I'm not going to, because it's LURP. It's LURP. It's LURPy. It's derpy. I'm not going to change that. These rabbits and animals, again, same. A picture which I drew over. This shot, a picture which you cannot identify. I understand Stein's description of that. What he basically meant was this is a creature which you do not recognize, but I didn't really want it to be that obvious what it was, because do I want to say this? Basically, we don't find out in the series what this actually is. So I know it's disappointing. I know, maybe in season 2, which will probably be about a bazillion years away at this rate of animation. But I didn't want it to be obvious what it was, so we had creative freedom if we did ever decide to continue the story. So that picture is actually a T-Rex, which I drew over, then blurred out, then put text over the top, then put splodges over the top. So you kind of get an idea that it is some kind of face or a creature, but you don't get too much of an idea. Again, so we have creative freedom in the future instead of being tied down. In case I drew some kind of squid with a beak, with a antenna sticking out of its head, with horns, and a elephant's trunk. A beak and a trunk. It's possible. I could find a way. I could find a way to draw on that. But yeah, I want to leave the freedom there. So that's why I blurred the picture like that. And again, reusing pictures from earlier. This entire bit's reused. So much of this is just reused pictures. Once you have the first sort of like 20 pictures, then animating LURP is a breeze. But it's just, I animated most of this within the space of about 10 weeks. And then it was just procrastination to animate the other bits which didn't involve using those pictures. I know, I'm terrible. I am a terrible person. That picture was a good example. Where was it? Oh no, I've lost it. No. I need the picture, please. Need to speak to the person. There we go. That was one of the later ones which I drew. Again, very different style of drawing from this. This was done a crude technique which I never want to do again. It was using a selection tool to select around the lines and then use a paint bucket tool to paint the selected area. So it basically meant you had to draw over a line sort of like twice, then paint it in. And it wasn't a natural way of drawing. It got these very straight lines, and I kind of like it for some of the pictures, but I'm never doing it again. I'm never doing that again. It was a terrible way of doing things. But this was the first time also that I used the technique of with the shadows. Basically add a new layer on top. All these pictures were drawn in Photoshop, by the way, and edited in Sony Vegas. Had another layer on top of the actual character, then I used a paintbrush tool to paint over the top of it and complete back, and then change the transparency down to about what I would say that's about 30%. Would that be 30%? Probably. So you get a shadow. So you draw over certain areas where you want shadow. So that's the way which I did that. Instead of painting getting a darker shade of colour and then painting in that area, which is the norm for animation. But again, LURP, a lazy animation process. But I do like the sort of like shaded area darkness style. It's kind of unique, actually. I like it. The energy creation device. It makes a comeback. I remember in episode 1 where I drew the energy creation machine, and it was I was really proud of it, and I look back and I was just like, that's terrible. That's a terrible drawing. So this one, I'm actually pretty happy with, but I know that in episode 3 I'll just be like, no, that's terrible. I'm going to do it differently. My animation's improving a lot. I'm capable of producing a short burst of any type of energy, including sound, heat, light, or even kinetic. It's such a broad device that we have no set definition of what it actually does, but it's just like, it does things. It can be used for just about anything. Pictures being used over and over. The rolled walking animation, that is used about 5 times that exact animation, I think. Yeah, so just copy and paste and use it over and over. This shot I'm the most happiest with. Used a wood grain texture for the floor. Drew again with the select tool technique. Drew the bed on top and the floor. Rolled the wizard. Was drawn in the same technique, I think, with the line selection technique. I hope you understand what that means, because I sure don't. So yeah, this entire scene was drawn like that, and I'm actually quite happy with this shot. I hope that again, the line technique I'm not going to use again, but something with this style of shading I am actually really happy with. I would like episode 3 to look like this, more like this, but we'll see. We'll see. And there's the coins, and this little, I used a sound effect from I think this is from Skyrim. I wanted to get a Skyrim style effect. I'm not sure if I use a Skyrim sound in the end of it, but a plus 10 coins, a video game style thing, because this is us. These guys are from Brian Stein Games. I have a gaming channel. We are playing a role-playing game, which was initially posted on Stein's gaming channel, so implement gaming aspects to it. That's basically the way I wanted to do it. And again, reusing this animation, which is used loads and loads of times, using that shot. This shot was, again, I drew in the past couple of days. You can see, this is the biggest contrast. You can see the different drawing styles, which I've gone through. Because the old man is, the small man rather, that's his official name, the small man, but I sometimes call him the old man. But this, you can see the massive contrast, because that's one of the first drawings I drew for this episode, the small man, and then this is one of our last episodes. You can see how much it changed, but I wanted to reuse that original photograph, so I did. And there's Roll swiping, and there's his face. This is an original photograph. This is used with line technique again. I am actually very happy with this shot. I do like it a lot, and I'm happy with this bit of animation as well. Look at that. It's so smooth, so nice. And again, I used the I used the same animation for the plus 10 coins, but changed it to red and put minus 14 health. Yeah, so this is the latest animation style, and I can guarantee the start of the next episode will look a lot like that, because I'm going to continue on from this style. Blinking man's tumbling around. I love the disgust. This is another thing actually. Me, Stein, and Roll were talking, because we recorded another episode of LURP. Not for posting online, not for this animated series. Hold on, I'm busy. Hello.
Sorry to disturb you. I've got some sausages cooked. Do you want them?
Not right now. Give me 10 minutes. Okay. Apparently there are sausages ready for me to consume. That would be lovely. I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, so yeah, we recorded another episode, and we were talking about what the video in this adds an awful lot to it. It's the commentary itself is very entertaining. in our eyes at least. But some of the facial expressions add jokes to it, which you wouldn't have had before. Like when Rold suggests running away, Elliot is disgusted by the concept. Or just the annoyance between them. It adds jokes which wouldn't have been there before. Again, Rold's annoyed by Elliot. And you wouldn't have got that via Stein's original podcast, which you can find on his gaming channel if you want to listen to it. Another thing which I want to mention as well. Blooming heck, there's a lot to mention in this. But this is awfully edited. We recorded myself, Roland and Stein audio separately. So all of this. So I had creative freedom to basically rearrange, reorder things, cut bits out. Basically, I made entire sections of conversation which wouldn't have really existed in the original podcast. And I'd love to actually know how much I edited it down, but I think it's about half the length that initially was. This entire scene with the small man, this entire episode, is probably about half the length of the initial scene. Because of how much I edited out. Yeah, let's skip ahead a bit. Fireball at his face. This animation was reused. Again, these shots reused from the trying to use the ice attack. I drew. Let's have a look at the different layers of this, because why not? Why not look at the different layers? So, oh, no. Let's close this down a little bit. So we have some chroma key, obviously, to do the green. Also added a bit of glow. Oh no, I didn't add glow. What I added was light rays, which sort of like spreads an image out a little bit. These are all things which I experimented with in order to try and get different effects. But that's light rays to make it look more fiery, and I thought that made it look very much like the sun. It looks beautiful. And film grain, grain which you get on television static. I added that over the top just to give the actual shot itself. So let's put it on loop playback. So you have a bit of animation there, whereas it would just be a still image there, and I wanted the image to be moving, so I added that. And the same can be said for the eye shot. It had static on it as well. And the fireball effect, that's from Skyrim. I know that's from Skyrim. And again, just a really derpy effect for just missing. I'm actually really entertained by that. I'm going for a derpy sense of humour with this. I'm trying to make the animation as good as possible in some places, but at the same time, just really crude. Using psychic abilities again. And Rold getting annoyed with Elliot. You wouldn't have got that joke initially, but Rold just getting annoyed that Elliot wants to pick a fight, yet he's making the small man fall asleep. That's his attack, and Rold's just bored by the concept. Yeah, also another thing which I want to mention, I tried to use a consistent font throughout the episode. That's... yeah. I did that with episode 1 as well. This was the first time I added some new emotions to Rold's face. Here and here. That's the first time in about 5 months where I drew new facial expressions for either of the characters, because I wanted him to be angry. So there we go. And that's him punching. I'm quite happy with that punch effect. Used the same punch sound effect as before. Also, this shot is the same shot used when the small man was blinking his eyes after being flashed in the face by the anti-creation device. So I used it again because Why not? Ooh, he's dead. I love that. So entertaining. And I'm actually really happy with these shots. I'd like to actually make the entire next episode look a bit like this as well. There's a lot of styles which I want to experiment with, but just the really cutesy style I want to have a go at some point. LURP is not going to be consistent at any point. Just telling you that. I highly doubt it will be consistent. In the near future at least. Simply because at the moment it's where I like to experiment with art styles, drawing. It's a learning experience, the entire LURP thing. Yep. Yeah, take the book. Good, I'll burn the house. Walking animation reused. Characters reused but from a distance. Fireball, completely reused that. Okay, for this, I reused the explosion for the end from the end of last episode because I put a lot of work into making his fluid animation for that. So I thought I may as well reuse it when Elliot says boom. And they're talking about what they've got. That swirly background thing, by the way, that's a Doctor Who time vortex, which I had a thing over the top of. Shh, don't tell them. It's just a filter over the top. Don't tell them. This small man lying down. That's a reference to the. I want to keep this consistent. In the previous episode, when we were talking about Roald being dead, if he ate some of the alien food. I used a shot of him lying back across for his eyes and crosses for his eyes and lying on a red sort of like mattress with a green pillow. So I used the same style for this because consistency. Yay! Fire effects again used again. Small man. Used the burn tool in Photoshop to give him that sort of like cooked look, and then just added a layer of black splotches using the paintbrush. Can we still eat it? Lying, put in fire. Yay! And yeah, that's kind of the end of the episode. How exciting! LURP! Oh, I can't wait to make episode 3. It'll be so much fun. I might get around to doing that pretty soon, to be honest. So yes, thank you very much for watching this video. If you did like it, then please make sure to click the like button down below. And if you want to see more of these behind the scenes videos, then please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Because if you haven't seen them already, I do some speed drawings for LURP. Basically the drawing process of LURP. They're very quick videos. But I hope some people find them entertaining, or at least interesting to look at my process, and it's quite a nice motivator for me to know that each time I make a new picture, I don't do it always, but when I create a new unique picture, I can make content out of that and put it onto Elliot Extra. So I'm gonna do it anyway because it kind of motivates me. But I hope you enjoy watching that at least. And also I have these weekly behind the scenes videos which I upload every Saturday, these commentary things, well hopefully every Saturday, providing that the video has enough behind the scenes sort of stuff to look through, because like this there's a lot of editing. But if I upload a vlog, then you're not going to see a behind the scenes commentary video because it would just be me talking about me talking, so that'll be pointless. But yeah, please make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of that. Click the like button. And make sure that you watch the original LURP episodes over on my main channel, because I put a lot of work into them, and I'd love you to see the actual improvement which has happened, the development of my animation style. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all once again, hopefully, in the future. Goodbye! I've had a pint glass here the entire time and I haven't drunk it. Wow. Oh yeah. Goodbye.